So hello to everyone in the Zoom room as well. And we are we're now live. Okay, fantastic. All right. Well, hello YouTube. Hello YouTube. Hello everyone. Okay, so everyone in the Zoom room. Oh, as well. Hang on. I might just mute myself. We are now. Let's have a look at that. We're now live. Okay. Yeah, let's mute myself. Fantastic. Oh, such slickness on offer. Fantastic. Well, hello everyone. Welcome to Let's Kill Twitter. I'm very pleased to welcome everyone who's on Zoom with us and who will hopefully be joining us on YouTube tonight. And obviously massive apologies to people on Facebook. But I have posted on Facebook and said, come over and join us in on lovely YouTube people. So happy New Year to everyone. This is the latest Let's Kill Twitter. I set up Let's Kill Twitter as a kind of fairly safe space to discuss the social media phenomenon that is Twitter, which I am hugely addicted to, which was obviously a prime mover in setting it up. But I also wanted, our tagline is detox your timeline with the art of conversation. And I very much wanted to have somewhere that people could follow up on all the good stuff that's on Twitter, but also unpick some of the kind of fiddly stuff as well, but do it in a sort of conversational way. And as much as you can have great fun interacting with threads on Twitter and all the rest of it, I think actually sitting down and having a chat about it is one of the best ways, still the best ways, the original and best communication. And helping me do this, follow us on LKT Zoom, by the way, which is obviously behind me. And if anyone feels so inclined, they can go to the website Buy Me a Coffee, which is our taking donations for Let's Kill Twitter. And helping me, co-hosting with me, is comedian Sajeela Kershi. Hello, Sajeela. How are you?
Hello, everyone. Hello. Yeah, co-hosting, cohorting. Hello, everybody. Hi, everyone out on the YouTube. And are we on the Facebook as well?
We are just on the YouTube at the moment.
We're on the YouTube and we're on here. So welcome to those who've joined us. Thank you for joining us. It's been lovely. Hope you've had a lovely Christmas and New Year to you four. And we only got an hour and a quarter, so I'm going to introduce our first guest, which is, I worked with her recently at another gig on Zoom, because this is where our new world is. And she's amazing, because we worked many moons before, but her career's just gone from strength to 10. Appeared on 8 out of 10 Cats, 8 out of 10 Cats Countdown, The Last Leg, Comedy Central's Roast Battle. She's had acting roles. She's been in a 2-part special of Silent Witness, and I'm reading her whole. I mean, oh my God, sex education. What have you not done? Please welcome Rosie Jones. Give it up. Woohoo. And also the fact that you made a big Twitter storm the day you appeared on Question Time and talking about disability rights. And I think you're a great ambassador for disability rights, great role model. So welcome to our show, Rosie. How are you?
Thank you, and Happy New Year!
It's the wrong year I'm celebrating.
Oh, well, there you go.
This is what I bought. Look, Happy New Year, everybody. 2020. I was done. It should be 2021. 2021. And of course, Julian's going to, welcome our other lovely guest today.
I am, as he's furiously typing a text on the other hand. Yeah, I'm going to welcome, big welcome to Sooz Kempner, who is garlanded with numerous comedy awards, including awards at the Funny Women Awards and the Musical Comedy Awards, and enjoyed great fun with your 2018 Edinburgh show, getting noticed by Comedy Central and British Comedy Guide in their picks of The Fringe. The Fringe, it does bring a little slightly...
Remember?
But then, of course, your moment in the sun, for as far as Twitter's concerned, was the amazing thread about you singing as a Christina Aguilera impersonator in I Am Appa. Still mind-blowing. I say it now, it still blows my mind. More about that.
What heady days. If I'd known then what it would lead to, I'd never have believed you. Partly because I didn't know what Twitter was in 2007, but yeah.
Is that how far back it was then?
Yeah, 2007. It's 14 years this year. It'll be.
Oh well, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Oh, God, that's incredible. Really.
It was beautiful to watch it unfold, I have to say, on Twitter, because obviously we. So did you see it, Rosie?
Yeah.
The thread. And it's just like, it was lovely. It was beautiful because it was just like really being honest and telling us your story. And you, well, why have we got Tinder, by the way? Just Tinder popped up.
Tinder?
Quite so.
Someone's just been rumbled.
I knew this would happen one day.
Because you do know everything you're on, it's going to pop up now, or we're going to see it all your life.
It won't happen often, and it'll be only to say, hey, everybody's boosting now. There's no I tried to turn the notifications off earlier and completely failed, and I just thought, come on, let's just roll the dice, see what happens.
So roll the dice, absolutely. Lockdown, why not, Dave? But no, it was a beautiful moment to watch it unfold for you, Sooz, and also like then being shocked, like, and on Facebook, going back to our other relationship on Facebook and saying, hey guys, I've just got an extra 2,000 supporters. But in the same vein, Rosie, can I ask you, when did you feel like the question time was a big kind of moment in terms of like Twitter, followers for you?
Oh yeah, huge, because I'm a comedian, and especially last year I kept doing more TV shows, and like I'm an egotistic or psychopath, so after every TV show you go, oh, I got 1,000 new followers. Brilliant. But question time, because it wasn't comedy, I think I was exposed to a completely new type of person. So in 1 hour, I think I got 15,000 more followers.
15,000?
Yes, so then you go, oh shit, now that's a lot. And I was definitely nervous about question time, because usually if it's a comedy show, you can go, oh shit, I'm losing the audience. I'll tell a silly joke, or at the very least, I'll refer back to my big tits. Because that always works. But you can't do that on question time. I had to resort to statistics and my political opinion. Luckily, I just spoke about my own experience and how I feel like I've been let down by the government, especially this year. And a lot of people were like, yeah, me too. So certainly after that, in terms of Twitter, what I did straight away was I told a stupid joke, because if you follow me on Twitter, it's like 98% stupid, silly jokes. So I I thought, right, if I got 15,000 new followers, they need to know that they're not following a disabled politician pioneer. They are following an absolute prick who happens to be disabled. So hopefully by now I think I gained some, a lot some, and now we're middling.
Yeah, I think you raised a really interesting point, like what people sort of know you for on Twitter, but I think you are both, in my opinion. I don't know, but I mean, I don't know, Julia. Do you see that these women are, and including myself, we're activists, but we can use that medium if you want to, whether you like that label or not, Rosie. You have. I'm just looking at some of the headlines from the papers that you got afterwards, and I do think it's because you tore Matt Hancock basically.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know, and we were all like, yeah, it doesn't matter what you're saying, yeah. And it's like, yeah, but she's really funny as well, which you are. Do you know what I mean? So you can be funny and be an activist.
Yeah, hopefully that came across, and I am so grateful to have that platform, because certainly last year in 2020, I was the only disabled person on TV to be that close to Matt Hancock, the health secretary. So if I'd gone on there and didn't take that opportunity, I would have been letting down 20% of the population. So I knew that I was lucky and I had to take that opportunity. But in terms of Twitter, I also need followers to know that I'm not only a disabled person to be put on a pedestal. I'm also a writer. I'm also a flawed woman. I'm also a sexual goddess.
You are, darling. You are a sexual goddess.
And it's just making sure that your tweets don't pigeonhole you into one category.
And it's a lot to put on a Twitter bio as well. You're never going to get that on your Twitter bio either. So
no.
No.
But I know what you mean about becoming like almost a token for, you know, I get it with being Asian, Muslim, woman, you know, all of those things that, you know, you're supposed to speak for everybody, and you don't necessarily want that. I mean, I think you should, you know, obviously if you've got something to say, fair enough, but you are more than all the things that you just said. Very, 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 very valid points. So I think we should start with the tweets now. So thank you for sharing. I don't know, do you want to bring, I don't actually know what your tweets are this week, Julian. I didn't look, I'm sorry. What have you got for the table?
Well, I mean, we've got a selection. I mean, I sort of should have probably gone bigger on the 2020 review of the year, so apologies for that. It was your suggestion, and then I realised this morning I should have done more on that. But I mean, we've got a couple on there. Let's have a look. Where are we on here? So I'm going to go down the fantastic. Well, I'm going to start with Sooz because I know you mentioned one out, Sooz. Kind of interesting. I'm just sort of interested in what the story is behind this one. Let's find this lady's tweet somewhere. That's your. There we go, Nezia.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to read it out and then just tell us what's all about?
This is one of my favorite tweets of 2020 from July. Are you free today? Tell me what you want and I'll tell you if I'm free. I mean, that sums up 2020 for me, but that sums up me in general. It's when someone slides into your DMs and go, "Hey, hon, would you be available on the 18th of February?" And they're then creating a situation where you have to go, what is it for? which comes across as so rude, because what you're saying is, well, it depends if it's something I actually want to do. so like, people should always let you know what they need you for when they're asking you if you're free, so that you can at least politely make something up if you then don't want to do it.
Seems fair.
For paid work, I'm normally free. But in the pandemic, it kind of goes double, because you can't go, oh no, sorry, I've just realised I'm busy, because they're like, doing what?
Having another Zoom, clearly.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I've just realised I'm on another Zoom. Fine, I can do that in future. That's fine.
That's interesting, because obviously the language has changed this year, hasn't it, through lockdown, and on another Zoom is a kind of one of those things. And also, when people say, are you free today? Do you think in this last year that means something else? Because I know when they've been saying to me, are you free today? It's because they want me to do some kind of Zoom.
Right.
You know, and all the other one is zoomed out. I'm so zoomed out. And it's like,
just all zoomed out.
Is there money involved? That's what we're really wanting to know. And then we play that game. It's like, yeah, it could be potentially. And why do people not actually get straight to the point? Because I find myself doing that as a promoter, like, are you free? You know,
right.
And I don't know why I'm doing that. I don't know why I can't just say it, because I want to hook them in, I suppose, and say, engage in a conversation, so it's harder for them to say no, if I'm honest. It's like a date, isn't it? Are you free?
Yeah.
Sweet, anxious, nervous date. And so, talking about sliding into your DMs, you talk quite a lot about that.
Oh yeah.
You know, in the other place that we aren't live streaming today. So tell us a little bit about this past year. Have you found more slidey-ins in your DMs?
Yeah, you get a lot of so there's lots of different types of guys who will DM you. It's always men, unless it's like a really transphobic woman, then they come into your DMs, and like transphobes demand my address. I should point out, I'm not trans. I am a cis woman, but I will stand up for trans rights on Twitter, because it's pretty easy to do. Like, you have to have a tiny level of decency, and then you just do it. But you get then women coming into your DMs going, tell me your address, seeing as you don't care who uses your toilet, that kind of thing. I had an amazing amount. It was over the summer when J.K. Rowling Gate popped up. An incredible amount of people demanding my address over Twitter, and I'm like, oh yeah, you're really worried about women's safety, aren't you? That's your main that's your main issue. But yeah, I get probably like once a week at least, a guy coming into my DMs to ask me out, which is not a brag. Like, I'm sure they're trying 1,000 women, because at some point someone must write back going, okay, but I am not that woman. As my best friend Gareth says, he says Sooz is a fortress, and there's no way that popping up going, hey beautiful, in my DMs, it's not.
Well, I'll tell you what we might do is jump around a little bit, because this actually leads really nicely into another tweet that you've picked. And I kind of, again, needed a little bit, well, I've sort of looked it up, a little bit of a kind of explain.
What context?
Here we go. I love that one as well. But here we go. Yeah. So do you want to read it out again and let us know?
Okay, yeah. An NHS track and trace app that lets you see if you've been in contact with any lads in that tag Didn't Happen of the Year awards. That's what DHOTYA stands for, on viral tweets. Yeah. Okay, so I don't know if you found this, Rosie, and Sajilia and Julian. When you tweet something that happened to you, like an anecdote, for example, when you spent 3 months in Iron Appa's Christina Aguilera Act, if it gets enough retweets, if it gets viral enough, so the Iron Apple one, I think, was on like There's like 20,000 likes. It went all over the world, which is amazing, obviously. But there were several people, I don't want to just go men, but it was men in the replies going at DHOTYA, like you've made it up. Like I went, I know what I'll do. I'll invent an entire season I spent in, I don't know, let's say Iron Upper, where I was, I don't know, let's just say Christina Aguilera, and I'll make up, like, no, I didn't make it up. But yeah, there's always people whose lives have been so boring that they will tag this account, which just shames people who tweet stuff that definitely didn't happen to them. But they tend to be anecdotes that are entirely believable. It's just the people tagging these people have had very boring lives.
So is this actually a account?
Yeah.
This the first time I've ever come across this, I'm going to be really done here. DHOT. What does it stand for again, please? Could you repeat that, Sooz?
Didn't Happen of the Year Awards.
Didn't Happen of the Year Awards.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a hashtag. That's like, is it a thing?
Yeah, it's an account. So there's an at the beginning, and yeah, this account will retweet people who tag Didn't Happen of the Year Awards.
I want to be on that. I long to be tagged in that. I do long to be tagged in that. And the thing is, what I don't understand is that people have got too much time on their hands that they're looking like, I don't believe you. It's a lie. It's a lie. You're lying.
Fake. Like...
But even if it was, what difference does it make? You've if you put something out on Twitter, or irrespective of whether it's true, you didn't say it's. I can't remember. Did you say it's 100% true?
Well, yeah, and it was.
It was true. But even if it wasn't, what I'm saying is, even if it wasn't, what difference does that make? How is that your business? It's like you put something out, some content out that's relevant to you, whether you choose to embellish it or not embellish it. That's down to you. Why does it bother other people?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, people have got a lot more time on their hands under COVID, under lockdown, and they are very worried that people aren't being incredibly authentic. Complete strangers aren't being 100% authentic on the bird site. So yeah, they need to get in there and tell them, I'm on to you. They're like conspiracy theorists.
Who knew Sooz Kempner is part of that conspiracy?
Win the award.
Did I win any awards? Oh, actually, I could put it on a Twitter poster now, couldn't I?
Yeah. Yes. Next Edinburgh show.
Could go in my bio. I've got, good news, guys. Won another award from the Didn't Happen of the Year, guys.
And then you probably get tagged again for lying.
Yeah. No, she didn't. She's very authentic.
Yes. There is some. I mean, I can just remember seeing Rosie's tweet on. It was something that I liked as well. Just want to bring it in. It was the tweet. Oh gosh, which one was it? Hang on, I've got to go and see it. Let's see if we can see what's Rosie's tweet.
I like the Susie Dent one. That was good.
The which one? Oh, we can go to either one.
Well, let's go for your Susie Dent one, Rosie.
So shall I read it out?
Yeah, read it out. And just give us the, whatever you. I've never heard of this word before.
Yeah, my wish is that respect will emerge from the forgotten pages of the dictionary and be on everyone's lips in 2021. It means fresh hope and a recovery from despair. Happy New Year. And on so many levels, that is a tweet I needed to read on New Year's Eve, because 2020 it was a flaming burning pile of bin trash. It was really, really shit on so many levels. And I know just because it's the end of the year, it doesn't mean the end of COVID or lockdown or anything like that. And I think we need to stay inside. But what I need right now is hope and knowing that we are still moving forward and we're moving towards a better place and respect. I didn't know the word respect before, but it felt so apt and right. And like Susie, I hope that this year will be full of respect.
Yeah, here.
There's also an element of it sounding a little bit like a perfume. It's like, oh, what's that wearing? Respect. It's going to be the big in 2021.
Yeah.
Respect.
Respect number 5.
Yeah.
Oh, the parfum. Yeah, no, I agree. I'm with you. Because obviously it has been such and I'm glad that we didn't sort of focus anything on to next. We know that it was a pile of shit. We know that, as you say, Rosie. But so going forward, you're looking for hope, I guess, and yeah. I concur with that. What about you, Susie? What would you like to take forward into the new year? Like, this year, how would you like us to move forward?
I'm in a slightly strange position because whenever I hear someone go, "Oh, I can't wait till everything gets back to normal," it makes me go ugh a bit because I found 2019 quite awful. Like I found the end of 2019 ended with that election, and just for me personally, like a very good friend of mine, the day before the election, I found out that I knew she had cancer and I found out it was terminal. So I began 2019 in like really bad place. And then my friend died at the end of January. And it was just as we went into lockdown, I'd started putting myself back together, I would say. Yeah. And so I found lockdown and the rest of 2020, it was so shit, obviously, but it was so impersonal compared to what it had felt like before. So for 2020 to end with Trump losing an election and me getting fresh antibodies because I got COVID at the end of 2020 and now I'm apparently not contagious. So I'm just an antibody machine scattering them, baby. Trump losing and that, I feel like 2021 already has begun with a lot more hope. Like I can see an end to that, but I don't want things to get back to normal. I want things to go to somewhere that's better. I want us to have learned from what's happened in the last 12 months. Now I don't have full faith in humanity to do that, but that's what I hope. That's what my despair is.
Okay, that's great. What about you, Julian?
I'm just thinking about this idea of people saying, oh, I can't wait till things get back to normal. And there is a part of me that is a little bit, it's slightly weird, because there was 2020 and lockdown was quite a contemplative time. And it was quite useful in some respects. So I think there is going to be a certain amount of readjustment that people are going to have to make when it comes to getting back to normal. But I don't think that normal is obviously going to happen overnight, far be it from that. And there are things that we can't really go another year without. Obviously, Edinburgh Festival is a very big focus for a lot of people in comedy. And if we have another year fallow in Edinburgh, it will still come back. But, I read a piece that Anthony Alderson, where he did an interview in the Telegraph, and he said that he feared people's muscle memory about going to gigs might slip a little bit. And the longer you leave things, quite often people's behaviour changes. So there's all sorts of kind of, challenges ahead. It's going to be, I think the economy will some of the effects of this year will bite perhaps more this year. So there's all sorts of unknowns, really.
Well, I mean, I'm going to sort of echo everything that you guys have said, but also I think we laid some groundwork in 2020, as well as the despair there. So the despair of sort of like stuff was already evolving, like being kinder to each other. The sense of community that I think we built up, not just in the real world, where people were helping others, but even on social media, reaching out to each other. And I know that Rosie and I did a gig recently, and I got really emotional because when we do Zoom gigs, we just like go in and then we just leave and we don't chat. So we had a chance to have a chat with a group of us, and it just really like, oh my God, I really miss everybody. This is awful. I feel really like it was really painful. But and then all the Black Lives Matter going forward, I think we have built some groundwork there with inclusivity and more sort of diversity going out. You can see it happening, within like even our industries in terms of people being more involved and stuff. So I think it's already been quite sort of positive steps have been taken during 2020 within that despair, and I love that word despair. I want to hear more of that. So thanks for bringing that tweet to us. But let's go into, because I think we are looking back. Can I look at my tweet for the Wham one? Because I think this is fantastic, and I was really excited, and I thought this is what's happened last year, is that we've all been okay. So the tweets from Andrew Ridgely: I'm delighted, somewhat amazed and profoundly pleased that Wham's iconic Christmas classic Last Christmas has finally achieved the accolade of becoming #1. It's a fitting tribute to George's songwriting genius, and one of which he would have been immensely proud and utterly thrilled. Right. So firstly, I was like, I didn't know that we were still doing the charts, because I'm so old now and I don't listen to music, and I'm deaf as well. So I kind of miss out on the music. But I thought that's lovely, because I thought we had Andrew Ridgely, we had that being #1. I couldn't remember that it wasn't #1. But also, why these songs are now sort of getting a second wind is, I think this past year we have been quite nostalgic. I've had people from universities contact me, from old schools, and obviously that's been a time for reflection this past year. And so songs are so emotive, and that's one of the things, as someone who's now become deaf, that I miss so much is music. It's so emotive and it puts you in a place. And I couldn't tell you what song you would, I mean, I don't know, do you have a song for 2020? Is what I was going to say. Obviously, the Christmas classics are always going to be Christmas classics. So, Rosie, do you have a song that you could like kind of, I don't know, that would be 2020. So when you hear in 20 years' time, you'd be like, oh my God, I remember that. That's when we had lockdown.
Well, everyone's gonna like poo-poo me and go, that isn't old. But this year I turned 30, which for me was really old. And I love writing quizzes. And this year I wrote a end of 2020 bumper quiz. And this was the first year that in the music quiz, I listened to the top 10 best-selling songs, and I was like, I don't know any of them. So I think music-wise, I know Dua Lipa had a song, and Harry Styles had a song about oral sex. I know there was a song about a cheeky monkey that became a TikTok sensation, but in terms of me, no idea, because I've spent all of 2020 listening to my hero, Her Royal Highness Dolly Parton. I don't give a shit about Billie Eilish. I have spent the whole year listening to 9 to 5. I will always love you. Jolene, here you come again. And I feel like the icing on the cake is the fact that Dolly funded the Moderna vaccine and just gave them £1 million. So yeah, my song of 2020, even though it's about 30 years out of date, is Here You Come Again.
Oh.
I think you get a free vaccination with every Dolly Parton download now, don't you?
It's like the Dolly Parton fan club. But that's what I mean. It's like, it's not necessary, because I don't remember any releases this year at all. I'm listening to old stuff. So you've actually hit the nail on the head, Rosie. So what about you, Susan? What's your memorable tunes of, you can have more than one if you want.
Well, unlike Rosie, I'm really young. I turned 22 this year.
I would relieve you as well, Sooz.
Yeah, sure. I'm about to turn 36, and it's in lockdown as well. So I'm going to be like, I'm having a sad birthday, but it's me and everybody else, I don't know what is going on in the charts. Again, I know that Dua Lipa is a thing. I only found out last week she's English. Anyway,
Dua Lipa sounds like a venereal disease.
Didn't she? Wasn't she? I thought you would have known her because she was wasn't she a big Corbyn fan in 2019? Didn't she?
Yeah, but like so were loads of people, and
you'd have got an alert. You've got an alert. For that.
I was so busy just ticking them off the list, going good.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to leave it now.
My song of lockdown has been Kate Bush, Cloud Busting.
Oh man, yes.
Every time I've listened to her, like particularly at the beginning of lockdown when she's like going, and the sun's coming out.
Oh,
I just know that something good is gonna happen. I was like, yeah, that's right, something good's gonna write a song about COVID, Sooz. Get over it.
I am such a huge fan of Kate Bush. Well. Sorry, Julian, didn't mean to cut you off. I was just going to say I'm a huge fan of Kate Bush.
Yeah, no, I love that song because I think it's always got two good things going for it as well. Sampled by Utah Saints, and also I think Donald Sutherland's in the video. Or is that Running Up That Hill? That might be Running Up That Hill.
Oh, that's my favourite. Running Up That Hill.
Yeah.
And there is a great tweet that we should have used for that actually, but I've forgotten it now. So Running Up That Hill. I can't remember who did it. But anyway, yes. So what's your song of last year?
Me?
Yeah.
I think I just right. Okay, let's have a look because Spotify tells me what I listened to a lot last year, and I'm just trying to think. Oh, you know what? I'm going to have to look on my Spotify now.
Let's see all your personal things. Then we already know about your Tinder dates.
Welcome to my world. Oh, okay. So I did listen to quite a lot of the Beck album in Colours, which I hadn't been. But that's only because there was an advert they used. What's that track? Oh, Wow. They used the track Wow for an advert, and it's a really good track. So I do remember listening to a lot of that. But yeah, I don't know. I think maybe the sound echoing still through my brain is all the trance that I use when I'm exercising, basically, just so I could be just completely brain dead and focus on the treadmill. Oh God, I missed the gym or whatever it is I'm doing when I'm not at the gym.
Well, bringing it back full circle, I have been listening to a lot of Wham and George Michael, and I dance around in the kitchen singing, Wham rap, and I know all the words, and and 80s basically is my happy place, Hey, tell this jerk to take a hike. There's something about that boy I don't like. Hey, sugar, he don't mean the things he says. I got it out of my way, and I can't rap for sake.
Not today, so that's okay.
Yeah, and it's just, it brings me joy. And so all the 80s stuff. So again, I think because it was difficult to create sort of new memories last year. I think we're looking back to old memories, and we are looking at sort of, that nostalgia sort of thing. So I think it's time for another tweet. Let's roll the dice.
Well, it's such a relentlessly positive show that I'm not going to keep it positive. Let's do. I don't actually know whose turn it is, but I'm going to do two very quick ones because they're pretty much the same thing actually. Maybe I'll just do one if I can find it, which is Badly Drawn Boy. Come on, where are you?
We should have got Sooz to sing in the little bits in the between. Oh, hello.
It was actually New Year's Eve. So Badly Drawn Boy had never been on Twitter before. Well, not till recently. I never used Twitter properly until July this year. I've been pleasantly surprised, made many genuine connections with many, some small, some big, all good. Togetherness of any kind counts for something. Let's keep supporting each other as we move into a new year. Cheers all. That was very positive, and I don't normally like the positive ones, but even I.
Yeah, this is what we do. You see, it's a good cop, bad cop kind of thing going on. I'm all like, oh, lovely, lovely flowers and hearts and roses, and then Julie comes in with this edgy stuff. Yeah, that is really positive, and
But I thought it was good, that somebody because he's sort of getting older. I think he's younger than me, but he's getting older. He's not necessarily going to be drawn to Twitter necessarily, and actually, connections are there. The things you can say to people on Twitter obviously go from like the basest, lowest things, which I know, you guys have experienced in your timelines. It's pretty shocking, but also to sort of, to some fairly meaningful connections. I mean, starting this whole thing was about those shared experiences, like the US election, and the COVID tears, and actually bringing some humor into some pretty tricky moments. It's quite a lifeline sometimes.
But you also sort of highlights how people who've never used social media suddenly started using it. I know there was like a big thing in the comedy world when Rich Hall ended up on Facebook. Like, is that the real Rich Hall? Is that a fake? Is that do you remember that? I was like, I don't know, why would Rich Hall be, but then him engaging quite sort of sweetly with us, and it was just really charming. And maybe this is where social media has kind of come into its own during lockdown, is where people who would never dream of using social, it's just not their bag, whether it's technical stuff or just because they don't want to be involved with it, are suddenly kind of like, well, I kind of need to connect with people. So it's quite sweet. And on that, do we have a tweet or someone's mentioned about social media? Was it did we have somebody? I know
there's Matt Ford saying that he was going to be, there's a similar kind of soppy one here. I don't usually do New Year's resolutions, but I'm going to try and be more positive on Twitter, not in a dopey way. We all know it's a cesspit, and it'd be so easy to get dragged into the negative stuff and end up contributing to a culture war we don't like. It was a lovely sentiment, but I have to say, I don't rate the shelf life of that one, because and all that you said earlier, Sheila, about the positivity that we've learned this year, it's also been a very divisive year when you look at things like the debate around lockdowns and how effective they are, and also where you sort of believe the role of the state, what the role of the state should be. And I don't have a particularly statist point of view, but there are some things that there's no point having a government if it can't do things. So it's been very interesting seeing what people, their definition of freedom, as it were. But yeah, anyway, well, that was Matt Ford. And he's being pretty jolly about it.
Can we go to I think it's Rosie's, just because I thought it was really hilarious, and also brings into what I was going to say, which is Rachel Stubbings' tweet. Yeah. And I love this.
Wow.
I love this. Rosie, if we get to it, I can see it, but
yeah, no, it's here somewhere.
It's Rachel Stubbings' worst type of people. Here you go. So do you want to give us a read of that and tell us your reasons why you picked this tweet?
So the worst types of people in the world At number 3, you got murderers. 2, rapists. 1, the people doing dry January. And for me, that is a perfect tweet. Rachel is my best friend, my hero, very funny writer, and I think especially coming out of 2020, anyone saying, oh yeah, I'm doing dry January, I'm like, go fuck yourself. We need to drink our way through 2021, so pass me the gin. Let's get on with it.
That's a pretty clear message there.
So yes, and anybody who who's out there listening, who's under 18, please make sure you have an adult with you when you're drinking yourself to death. That's wonderful. Yes. But I agree with you. Rachel is a brilliant writer, very good comedian as well. And I did love this. It's really tickled me. And if you had a top list for 3 worst types of people, what would yours be, Sooz?
3 worst types of people. Murderers, rapists, people doing dry January. It's all there. People. Hang on, I'll tell you. The worst kinds of people are people who are like, do you know what? I'm not left wing. I'm not right wing. And you're like, oh, cool. That's hot. That's what I love. Someone who stands for nothing.
And these are the people that we have to thank for Brexit. They don't have an opinion either side. Thanks for mentioning.
I'm not one
know about that. I think
I might not agree with you, but at least stand for something. Yeah.
The Centre Party, the so-called the Centre Party was the most anti-Brexit party there was. So what can you say?
Well,
just for some balance, Julie's there for some balance here.
I'll let you run away with all this nonsense.
What about you, Julian? So let's bring it to you. What about your worst kind of person? What is your worst kind of person?
I mean, that a list of 3 is not long enough, is it?
Just give me one. Let's give us.
Oh, I don't know. Okay. Well, I just thought the dry January thing, just to sort of get back on that. It's not so bad. I don't mind people doing it, but yeah, if they're talking about it, that's very
wanky, isn't it?
And there's so many things you can give up in January, which seems like the absolute worst month to give up anything. Why would you want to do it in like one of the worst months of the year? You just need to sort of get to the spring and then have a word with yourself, essentially.
We should all be having a word with ourselves.
On my list, I mean, you've got me there, Sajila, because it's just such a long list.
And what about you, Rosie? I know that this is Rachel's tweet, but do you have a personal number 1 of the people you hate the most?
I feel like this is a sweeping statement, and there's always exceptions to the rules, but for me it's just all round moaners. People who every time you see them, you go, oh yeah, all right, Ken. And it's like, oh, whoa. Whoa, the day I've had. And you're like, for fuck's sake. Like, you bring it on yourself. And I think I'm a genuinely optimistic and positive person. And when I'm feeling down or not so great, I'm like, right, what can I do to change this? But some people are like, oh, it's your fault. It's you got to make me feel better. So yeah, moaners.
Yeah,
No.
I'm gonna agree with that. They're wearing moaning whinge bags. And like, let's face it, this last year we've had very little to give. And I know that I've upset people that I've not been there for them, because you're spreading yourself thinly and just trying to get through like COVID yourselves. But the ones that stop just non-stop, the glass isn't half full. They don't even have a fucking glass. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, there's just, yeah, we have no time. I'm agreeing with that, with no time with them. The reason why I wanted this to follow on from the last week was really because the dry January, so the new thing, and I think we spoke about this the other day, Julian, is that, and I don't know if this is like a rumor, but my son told me, was that January, people giving up social media. What? Why? Why would you do that in the middle of lockdown? What else is happening in your life that you are going to substitute? I don't understand. I mean, could you give up social media for good for a whole month?
I definitely.
There's a lot of thought going on here. Just say yes or no. Like, I don't know how to consider that.
I think I could. I've been at home with my mum and dad for 2 weeks. And for me, social media is definitely a work thing. I try to tweet once a day or Instagram once a day. So, I mean, I'm secretly an 80-year-old woman. So the other day, I turned my phone right off for 10 hours and I did a 1,000-word jigsaw and I had the greatest day of my life because I love social media because it's such a great platform to interact with my fans or people I need to talk to for work, but I don't need it. So for me, I love it because it helps with work, but I am in no way addicted. So I wouldn't do a dry January of social media because I don't want to go a full month and not write funny jokes or do things to promote my job. So as long as you have a healthy relationship with it, there's nothing wrong with social media.
Well, Sooz, on the other hand, you see, you actually have been using it as a way to kind of transfer your work, if you like, because right early on, I remember you've kept me certainly entertained and many thousands of other people with your EastEnders, kind of thing. You were constantly putting content out there, and I kind of really admire that because I just was like, oh, I've just given up, I can't do anything. I just stay in my pajamas and just grow a beard and pluck my beard hairs. But you were just doing like really, fantastic things. And so the idea for you, could you then give that medium up for a month?
I was thinking about it when Rosie was saying it. I genuinely think I could do a month off it. But I would be then at home going, well, I miss it, and that's where I was doing all my work. So, because I've started streaming, I started in April streaming on Twitch, which is it's mostly a gamer platform. But then lockdown happened, loads of comedians were like, I'm going to hit Twitch, and all the gamers were really pissed off.
Coming over here,
I'll
taking
like
the jobs.
stream 3, 4, 5 times a week on Twitch, and there's like a really nice community, and you can do shows on there. Like I've built a nice audience there over the last 8-9 months. So I'll just go online sometimes with a cup of tea at midnight and go, hi guys, here's a film I watched earlier, and then we'll chat about it for an hour. Or I'll do a full show with my green screen singing Kate Bush requests, cloud busting features. But so the idea of having to stop that just to go, I'm getting away from social media for a month, I'd go, oh, but that's like my job now. That's how I've transferred my job while there's no live entertainment. So it's a similar thing. Yeah, I probably could. There's other things I could do, but I also would feel like I'm neglecting part of my career. Plus, I'm obviously addicted to it.
Oh, yeah. What about you, Julian? I know this shows obviously wouldn't exist if you gave it up for a month.
Exactly. It's not going to happen. But I mean, I can live without Facebook. I can live without Instagram, which I virtually have never looked at ever. I think I may have set up an account for a comedy night I was running because I felt obliged to. But so there are certain accounts I could live without. But just sort of composing a tweet is quite a good little mental exercise. I think it's nice. Like Edinburgh, I think it's a good, like when Edinburgh is up and running, that is a very good time to have a weekend off social media when you get back. But it's generally a good time to have a weekend off pretty much everything. So that is one of the times that I remember like needing a real mental break from it. But sometimes it obviously helps you sort of being connected. Rosie, I need to know what the jigsaw was.
Oh my God, so I'm actually using it as my prop for the laptop.
Gonna make her ruin all her decorations.
My recent one is a 500 library piece. And then
why read a book when you can jigsaw it?
Yeah. The next one, which I'm very excited about, is pies.
What is that? Pork pies?
Pork pies and puddings.
Hilarious. Please,
and puddings.
when you finish them, can you please tweet them to us?
Yeah, no, definitely.
Because we've seen it before and after.
Also, during the holidays, I've done an old brand one, and I've done a personalised one that my friends got me of them two and me. I'm living the 80-year-old dream.
So we had a message in the chat from Andrew, who's with us tonight, and he said, does anyone think that the Farage tweet, which I'll pull up in a minute, I know it's one of yours, Sooz, anyone think that the Farage tweet celebrating Brexit is going to come back and haunt him? Well, let's get it up, because it's fairly, pretty light-hearted, even though it's obviously Brexit.
There he is.
Oh God, everything about it. Look at him with the long fag ash as well. It's everything about it is amazing. It's him posing on his own in front of his horrible tree and saying they all laughed at me, because obviously he's going, they all laughed at me when I said we should leave the EU, and now they're not laughing now. It's like, we're all laughing at you. So yeah, we are laughing at you.
Well, nearly about half the country might not be.
Yeah, well, yeah, but the other half are still laughing because they think it's good. But even those of us, I'm expecting all of us to.
Yeah,
any of us who think Brexit is a bad idea, we're still laughing at you, mate. You're a joke. We still think Brexit's bad.
So yeah, I mean, it's obviously paraphrasing. It's Bob Monkhouse, isn't it?
I think so, yeah.
Paraphrasing the Bob Monkhouse joke about, they all said, I can't even remember it now.
They all laughed at me when I said I'd be a comedian. They're not laughing now.
They're not laughing now.
He's as crooked as his Christmas tree, isn't he?
Yeah.
The thing about this is that obviously it's him on his own, or presumably whoever took his wife or whatever. But
I know she left him.
She left him, didn't she?
Oh, good.
Right.
Some
Well, there must be someone there. It's not a selfie.
You might have
set it on timer.
Well, so, yeah.
And that's why his fag's like so like
it's
long.
so long.
One thing I noticed.
And his glass is empty.
Is it? Yeah, it is, isn't it? Yeah. The one thing I noticed is that obviously he's not going to be in a room full of people because it's locked down and all the rest of it. But it's quite a, it's sort of it's quite a lonely photo because it is just him. Now, obviously, by necessity, it has to be. But when you look at photos from the Leave side, they don't really have any images where they can claim any mass sort of demonstrations. So I saw one the other day from an account which was using the England fans cheering at one of the football parks. So this was 2018 World Cup. So the footage, it was basically kind of cheering Brexit, but using the footage of the football. It's like, yes, because they can't. I mean, obviously, I'm not saying they didn't have the votes, but they can't find any mass sort of outpourings of celebration. I mean, all that sticks in my head is on the night on 2016. You had some people celebrating in Sunderland, and that's literally the only people I've ever seen vocally celebrating it.
Right.
You clearly know that there's millions of people who supported it, but I think it's just they just spent 4 years drumming their fingers waiting for it to get done, I suppose.
They're going to be very unhappy in about 6 months' time when they're like, oh, I'm still sad. Still sad about shit. I wonder, and then they'll have to find something else to be furious about, because why look inward ever?
Yeah, well, come to Twitter, they'll find something to be about
me.
Well, to go with the wine and the fag, can we go to Sooz's tweet about the restaurant, American propagandist?
Good one to end on, I think. Yeah,
I love this. It's just someone. It was prompt Twitter, as they call it. What restaurant did you think was fancy when you were a kid that you realised isn't when you got older? Which I love, because there were so many different answers, and some of them are hilarious. So mine was, when I was 7, my parents took me to Little Chef, and I thought, this is it.
Oh God!
It doesn't say much about how. Well, it doesn't suggest I had a particularly fancy upbringing, does it? I sat in Little Chef as a 7-year-old and went, oh,
they're great. They used to give you lollies at the end, and
Is that the one on the way to Croydon?
It probably was.
There's about one left now, isn't there?
Is that posh one that's near Stonehenge still there? Do you remember the one where Heston Blumenthal redid the menu, and then I made my then boyfriend do like a detour on the way to somewhere so that we could stop at the Heston Blumenthal Little Chef? Come on, we got to try out the really nice Little Chef. It was good.
But there is still one left, did you say?
I think there's a Little Chef somewhere, isn't there?
There's a few left, surely.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure.
It's Brexit win. It should be back.
But what was the reason why you thought it was posh? Like, what was the little thing that little detail that made it feel like it was posh?
Just like, I don't know what it says about how I eat at home, but I seem to remember like, nice plates, baby. Good food.
Well, I didn't have those standards. The first McDonald's in Red Hill. I don't know if you remember it. Yeah. So we used to go there for my for birthdays, and I thought that was special because we just didn't eat out ever. And so McDonald's I thought was posh. People went there, and then when you go to Pakistan, and they have like the posh people, they call them burger log, like people that it's just a phrase like burger, because they can afford to eat burgers. Everyone can afford to eat burgers, so the middle classes eat burgers. Right. So I was like, oh my God, we're at the height of luxury in this Red Hill McDonald's, that the only McDonald's that had opened, or anything that was a bit slight. So you can, or the Wimpy. I mean, the Wimpy, I spent many college days in the Wimpy, so that was my posh. What about you, Rosie? Do you have one that you thought?
Yeah, definitely Pizza Hut. Like, going to Pizza Hut was a proper day out, and I think it was the fact it was a free course. So first course you did the salad bar. You could get any salad you wanted. And then you got a great big pizza. And then pudding. You got an ice cream factory. Oh, I was living the high life.
I still think it is living the high life. Get as much as you can on your salad plate. I love that. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Julian? Do you have a?
I've just got memories conjured back of going to the Wimpy, and I think there is still a Wimpy in Harlow. I think it's still there.
Their special sauce.
They had quite decent ice creams, well, by the standards. But I suppose Pizza Express. But weirdly, the sensation of going to Pizza Express has not changed, and the market has not changed. And the only thing I can say is, like, I went to Pizza Express before there were 2-for-1 offers. Was that posh? But
well, before Prince Andrew made it popular. But Pizza Express, I still feel posh going there.
Yeah.
We got a comment in the comments box from Andrew Holly saying plenty of other culture war issues to be fought. Return of the death penalties, I'm assuming that's before, but his is the Dayville's American Ice Cream Parlour in Wimbledon back in the 70s. Giving your age away here, Andrew. So I have no idea what that is. An ice cream parlour. I could only dream of ice cream parlours, going to ice cream parlours now. That would be living the dream right now, wouldn't it, guys? Yeah, it would be living the dream. What are we doing for time? So I wonder if I thought we could finish on the. Can you get the firework display?
Well, let's. Oh gosh.
Yeah, we should finish on the. Because I only saw it after the event.
Okay. Well, first of all, I want to say hello to the people watching us on YouTube, because there are people watching us on YouTube.
Hello.
If you've loved what you've seen, you can donate at this address here. I'll just move out the way.
buymeacoffee.com / let's kill Twitter. That's buymeacoffee.com / let's kill Twitter.
There we go. So slick, and then I'm back. So yeah, we could do that, but also, if the guys in the Zoom room also want to, so that's Andrew and Joy. If you've got any tweets you want to share with us while we discuss this last one of Sajila's, then please let us know, and we can end on those. But let's have a look. Let's find the Sajila.
I don't know if you can see the fireworks in it, because I thought that'd be nice explosive little fire. That's annoying. Yeah, you can't see the fireworks. But I'm sure
you're opening like a can of worms with this one, because we've got to discuss Black Lives Matter.
I just wanted to just show the fireworks I thought we could end on the fireworks, and it'd be like. That was quite nice to sort of end the show, but we can't. Did you guys see the fireworks, by the way?
Yeah,
that was lovely.
Yeah, it's great.
Any negativity comment on there? Good? No? Fine.
Imagine if I did. I was like, ugh.
It was shit. I loved it. I reminded me of the Olympics. Oh, there it is. Look there.
Well, there's an image of it. Oh, hang on.
That's some local bum-along fireworks.
What's it? One's quite good.
But my brother pointed out that they use the Tower of London, and normally they do go for the London light. There it is. It's the one that you just missed. Just that one there, because I remember those lights.
Is this actually? Oh yeah.
I found this incredibly emotional, by the way. Happy New Year! To all our listeners out there, Happy New Year! 2021, not 2020.
In the year of 2020, a new virus came our way. We knew what must be done, and so to help, we hid away. Old habits became extinct, and they made way for the new. And every simple act of kindness was now given its due.
The Nightingale Hospital, based at the Excel Exhibition Centre in London, was constructed in just 9 days.
Buildings were lit up in blue, the colour of the NHS.
And so it goes on for another.
Oh, you've got to let us watch that.
All of it.
Yeah, that is just beautiful.
Well, if you want to see it, you can get to Austin. You can find Austin Kellerman's tweet.
Oh no, I've seen it, but I just thought it'd be nice to end on that because it is a lovely. And have you seen the whole thing, girls?
Oh yeah.
The thing about it being secret is that when it happened, obviously I had no idea. I don't even live that far away from it. I was like, what's going on? I should have just looked outside and actually, but there you go.
I just saw local fireworks back round in Reigate Way. So, the usual kind of like couple of beeps. And then it was like quite nice. And I was with my son. Where were you at the stroke of midnight? Were you with your mum, Sooz?
Yeah, I was that end of my living room doing a show for Twitch. So
wow!
I was singing on Steve McNeil's, Steve McNeil and
yeah. Steve McNeil from
doing a show, Wi-Fi Wars, with Rob, and I sang Auld Lang Syne at midnight while they set off indoor fireworks.
Oh, that's really cute. That's really cute. What were you doing, Rosie?
I was very, very, very drunk. With my mum and dad, we had champagne, wine, Baileys, gin and vodka, and we were watching All Our Heroes. We were watching a documentary about Victoria Wood. And then we looked at our phones and we were like, oh, it's 1 a.m. Happy New Year. It was the first year that midnight had just surpassed me by.
Where are you now at the moment, Rosie?
In York.
Oh, you are in York. Okay, I wasn't. What about you, Julie? I know you're in London, and so you missed the fireworks, the secret fireworks that you
weren't that far away. I just thought, wow, those neighbours have kept it quiet all night. It's amazing. I think I was watching Just Tonic's New Year's Eve bash, actually.
Nice.
In and out of that and some stuff on the radio. But
just goes to show the online content is running strong and well, and that everybody's some part of it. Anything you guys want to promote before we go, Sooz?
Oh, if you like the idea of watching my crazy nonsense on Twitch, it's twitch.tv/Sooz Kempner, all one word.
And on Twitter, you are?
Oh, yeah, that's probably a good idea, isn't it? Twitter.com/SoozUK, SOOZ UK.
And Rosie?
My Twitter is Josie Jones. So like Rosie Jones, but the R and the J are swapped. And I forgot a podcast with amazing comedian and my hero, Helen Bauer, called Daddy Look at Me, which is hectic but funny. So if you want to hear two 30-year-old women talking a lot about musicals and tits, join us.
Could you repeat that for us? What was it called again?
Daddy, look at me.
Daddy, look at me. Okay. I will. That intrigued me. It did. I wondered if it was about little daddy's girls, because we all are a little.
Yeah, it's all about childhood and wanting attention as little girls.
And we haven't changed, comedians. Hello.
No.
Okay, and so have you got anything else you want to promote? Like you've got your Twitters, both your Twitters. Julian, you've got a Twitter as well, obviously, and you're also available for promoting people's shows once they go back to Edinburgh, or once we go back to normality. Do also PR and copywriting, right?
Absolutely. Go to I've had a little refresh on my website, which is textualhealing.co.uk. so you can enjoy some of my photography on there if anyone needs any services like that. And then obviously the next Let's Kill Twitter, which is on January the 17th, Sunday, January the 17th at 8 o'clock, and we'll be tweeting about that as well.
We've got Granny Maguire and
Francis Foster for that one.
Okay.
And then in the meantime, we'll be doing some clips from tonight and
put them out there,
encapsulating the bon mot from this evening. So.
And I am available for gigs, posting, whatever, parties, or just little chats. Slide a DM, as they say. I've never had a sliding DM in my life, but there is still. The year is new, so fresh. But thank you, girls, for joining us. Sooz Kempner and Rosie Jones. It's been a joy chatting to you, getting to know you a little bit better, and finding out your tweets of the year. Wish you all a very happy new year.